Live from Manchester Morgue mostly contains spoilers. Mostly.
This is not a dream. We are using your preferred podcast provider as a receiver.
Welcome to Live from Manchester Morgue, a British horror film podcast, and that means the podcast is British. I'm Gary, and with me, as always, is Ken. Hello.
Hello, Gary.
Wow, that was enthusiastic.
I was just taken aback by why you were emphasizing the fact that we're a British podcast. Have we become one of those?
No, it's because when I think of when you have the podcast name in the podcast listings, if you say Live from Manchester Morgue, a British horror film podcast, it makes people perhaps think that it's only British horror films to talk about. So I just
Right.
wanted to clarify that we do talk about some British horror films, but that's not the show. We're a British-made horror film podcast.
It's good to clarify as well because there's several Manchesters.
Exactly. There's one by the sea, like in that film.
Well, yeah, in that really fun film.
That really fun, joyous film.
Yeah.
So tonight we're talking about anthology horror as we delve into two 80s classics, Stephen King's Cat's Eye and also Creepshow 2, which is also, I mean, it might as well have been called Stephen King's Creepshow 2 because all the stories in it were by Stephen King.
Yeah, and then we've got George mixed in as well.
George mixed in. George did the screenplay, I believe. George A. Romero.
Yeah.
So of the stories in Creepshow 2, The Raft was originally published. It was a published story in one. I forget which anthology it is. I have read it.
Weird Tales? No, something. I can't
It'd
remember.
be Night Shift or something, won't it? Or
Night
something.
Shift. That's it. I don't
was
know.
It
why I
actually
keep
Night
saying
Shift?
words. It was Night Shift. Yeah.
And the other two stories were not published. They were created specifically for the film, but still written by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Apparently. We'll also be finding out what some of our listeners' favourite anthologies are a bit later. And as an extra treat, stick with us. We've got an especially relevant interview coming up with the multi-talented Hannah FIERMAN, who you may know best from her performance as Lily the succubus in the first segment of the very first film in the VHS.
She likes you.
Anthology franchise. Well, she likes us, thankfully.
Yeah.
Enough to come on the show, I guess.
Yeah.
Also coming up, we're going to play Guess the Tagline. Sorry, Ken. And absolutely fucking triumphant return of how many cats are in it because we're doing Cat's Eye.
Oh, we've got this might be the I don't know, Citizen Kane. What's another icon? The Godfather of cat horror films.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many there are, but yeah, I'll take that. I'll agree with you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna splurge about Cat's Eye later because it's phenomenal.
Good. It's a great film. So a couple of people have been in touch about other things before we do that. So I'll read a couple of things out. Kirst has been in touch. On the last episode, we talked about Don't Look Now, and also we did a little honorary mention of the late Tony Head. Kirst says, R.I.P. Giles. We were lucky enough to get to meet him at a Comic Con, and he was absolutely lovely. So cool of you guys to mention him. Don't Look Now is such a masterpiece. I instantly had to rewatch. Thank you, guys. I do love 70s horror. Wicker Man, The Brood, Suspiria, personal top 10 fave are right up there.
Yeah, what a period for horror.
I know, wasn't it? I mean, the 70s and 80s were just the golden years as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Jazz has been in touch to say she found out a cool fact about the poster for Alien. Now, everybody must have seen the poster for Alien.
Yeah, the iconic poster for Alien, yeah.
Yep. She said, apparently Ridley Scott hated the original poster design so much, he said, if it's a choice between an empty black frame and that piece of shit, I'd choose a black frame. And the poster guys misunderstood what he meant and redesigned it. And that's why it turned into that now iconic, mostly black frame of a poster.
Also, it's nice to know that Ridley Scott's always been a miserable old English bastard.
Yeah, just forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to just tell everybody about a fundraiser that's going on. So a listener of the show, she's going to be shaving her head shortly in aid of a charity called Helping Hearts Filed. So if you go on the Just Giving website and go on to, if you search for Helping Hearts Filed, her fundraiser comes up in the results, like maybe 3 or 4 down. She's called Terry Miller. and she's got a purple top on. You'll see her on there. So it'd be nice if some of us horror fans could come together and maybe just do something positive in the name of the genre and help out with that. If anybody
Absolutely,
fancies
yeah.
it, go and find that and donate what you can if you can. Thank you very much.
Let's do it.
All right. Um, I've got one tiny little bit of news, and then I'll ask you what you've watched, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So Glenn Danzig.
I don't know why he just makes me laugh. He's a very funny man.
Well, I mean, Glenn Danzig, obviously, famously of Danzig and the Misfits.
Yeah, yeah.
He's directing a film of his comic. His comic is called Hell Mask,
Right.
so that's in production. I haven't read Hell Mask.
I've also
Um,
not read Hell Mask.
I read the one of his. He made one of his a previous comic he's done is in a film at the moment. I haven't seen the film, but I read the comics and it was really fucking really hard to read. Some of it was very very much. It's a very I don't know how to phrase it. You know, like I don't. I guess torture porn. Some of it is like it's really horrible. There's sexual violence in it and all sorts. It's called Verotica. I
Yeah,
read some of
so
those years ago.
yeah, so I watched that, and that's why he kind of makes me laugh because
All right.
he's very you know, I really it's really distasteful to me to use the term edgy, but I think when I watch Verotica, that's the only word that I could think of. It's very
Just try hard.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's an anthology.
it is an anthology. Yeah.
Yeah,
As I've not seen it, I've read the comics, which is an episodic story, so it's an anthology format in the comic as well. I don't know if
yeah.
Hellmask is comparable in the terms of the horrible things that happen in Verotica. Uh,
Well, I hope it's good because Verotica's not good.
no, I didn't hear very good things about it,
Yeah,
admittedly. That's my only bit of news. Have you got any news?
I don't. I leave the news to you.
That's fine. I just thought you might have heard something interesting, like a little snippet. No,
There's nothing
that's all I've
nothing
got.
interesting happens in my life, whether it's internally to me or externally in the outside world.
Well, that's good to know. All right.
Yeah.
What have you watched this week?
I've watched a few horror adjacent things, but I'll probably, for the sake of brevity, I'll skip through them. I've only got one kind of real horror. I watched a film called Cannibal Mukbang, um,
Cannibal Mukbang.
which
I've heard that
isn't
name.
as yeah, it's not as it's another Shudder joint, another plug to Shudder. Whoever is running Shudder, do something for us. Come on the show, give us a month subscription. It's only a fiver. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Um,
We'll
yeah,
promote the shit out of whatever, do it.
tw yeah, 2023. First time writer director Amy Kuge Kuge. It's not as trashy as the title might suggest. It's a bit of a essay on toxic relationships. This time flipped around in that toxic relationships usually focus on the male.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
This
put that
time,
together from the title Cannibal Mukbang.
yeah, well, this is it, you see. So it's a very slow burn. I mean, there's cannibalism in it as the center of it, and it's a bit of a reminds me of a bit of a 1970s exploitation revenge film, cut blended with a very modern, uh, romantic, toxic relationship suck sort of thing. It was okay. I think it takes a long way to get to where it's going, but I think it was a worthy film, and there's some really lovely, goopy practical effects in it.
Oh, that's always a bonus. I like a bit of goop.
Yeah, Cannibal Mukbang.
All right,
That's it for me. Pure horror this week.
fine. All right, cool. We'll crack on with the films then. Now, last week, last 2 weeks ago, last episode, you said you were never quite sure which film we were going to go for first. Do you want to guess which one is in my
Oh,
notes first?
um, no, it's got to be Creepshow because you watched Creepshow first. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it's not. It's Cat's Eye.
Oh, fucking hell! Right, okay, right, okay. Well, are you do right? When are you doing the trailer, the tagline game?
About we'll do it after Cat's Eye. We'll do it halfway. We'll do it between the films. and then we'll break off for a bit and do some listener favorites. We'll talk to the listeners, and then
Right.
we'll
Well,
round out with Creepshow 2, and then I think we'll end the episode with the interview with Hannah Fierman.
okay. Who wants a whistle stop tour of the horror anthology in cinema? Hands
Oh
up.
yeah, let's do
Guys,
that.
get your hands
My
up.
hand is up. You can't
Right.
see me, but my hand is up.
So, the horror anthology is not a modern thing for any fans that came to it via the VHS series or maybe the films that we're watching now. It's not a new thing. It started as far back as the 19s, the tens or tens, I guess, 19s. Anyway, so
Christ, I
we've
didn't know
got
it was that far back.
Eerie Tales in 1919, the first known horror anthology from the Weimar Germany. Don't know why I called it the Weimar Germany. Germany, basically.
The
Um,
Weimar.
yeah. Um, and then pushing to 1921, we've got Der Mutter Tod, which is another German kind of anthology by the legendary director Fritz Lang. We've got perhaps one of the most influential early um, anthologies, Waxworks from 1924, directed by Paul Lenny, an expressionist anthology starring the great Conrad Veidt, who starred as,
The Laughing
oh,
Man.
yes, the Laughing Man
The Man Who
in
Laughs, or whatever it
The
is.
Man Who
Sorry, yeah.
Laughs, who is most notable nowadays for directly inspiring the appearance of the Joker in
Yes. Yeah,
Batman
his big
lore.
rictus grin in that film specifically, yeah.
Yeah, so also staying with Waxworks, if you Google or YouTube, Waxworks 1924 with music by Mike Patton. There is a special live performance of the San Francisco International Film Festival with Mike Patton, Scott Amendola, who did the music for Super Meat Boy, and a couple of others. And
What?
it's absolutely worth watching.
That sounds mint. So, I
Yeah,
mean, Mike Patton's not afraid of foraying into film soundtrack type covers, is he? Because he had the Phantom Menace album director's cut is
yeah,
basically that, isn't it? With members of the Melvins and what have you. That's what's on there. The Devil Rides Out, Rosemary's Baby's on there,
yeah, outstanding.
among others.
We are absolutely a Mike Patton podcast.
Yeah, we mention
Um,
him every episode, I think, at this
we
point.
do. He finds his way into every episode.
He's
He's
worth talking about. It's fun.
yeah. Shifting forward to the Hays Code, which was for anyone that knows the time in Hollywood history where the censors were like, "Boo, hiss, you can't show leg and flush toilets." Hollywood horror anthology called Near Silence. Shift forward to 1945, the next big milestone in horror anthology by Ealing Studios, Dead of Night, which was the first kind of sound era horror anthology, or one of the first. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are going to want to correct my facts, but I am only a penniless morgue attendant and I can't do a lot of
To
research.
be fair, I think only one person ever criticised our facts. That was Phil, way back from episode two or
Wow, I
three.
forgot him. You
Do you
didn't
remember
forget
Phil?
him.
And I will
Yeah,
never forget Phil and what he did.
yeah,
Anyway, well, we've not heard from him again because I blocked him. So, feel free
yeah,
to criticise our facts, but just do it in a polite manner, unlike Phil.
yeah. Damn, Phil. Um, so then we've got what is seems to the internet seems to have dubbed the Amicus era, which I didn't really know about, which is a British uh, studio which first made a film called Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, which is incredibly influential to a lot of us horror hounds, not just that it is a horror anthology. The whole Amicus era is where we are predominantly where we come in as fans because we've got Tales from the Crypt
Yep. Yep.
and Creepshow, both of which are based on the old EC Comics horror serials from back in the 1950s.
Yep.
Tales from the Crypt, I should probably add into my What Have I Watched because I continue to binge as Shudder added all 7 seasons. So I just binged, just continuously watched about 100 episodes of
I'm pretty
Tales from the
sure there's a
Crypt.
new season coming out, isn't there? They're not
Is,
making a new one now.
is there? Oh, I don't
I
know.
think so. I'm sure I've read that somewhere. There was a picture of, I can't remember who it was, that it was the Crypt Keeper puppet with John Cassier, who does the voice of the Crypt Keeper. But
Yeah.
recently it was like a new puppet. And I'm sure I read there was a new series that like they're making a new one now, which is really exciting.
Okay. So yeah, I rattled through a bunch of Tales from the Crypt. Some that I remembered, some that I didn't remember. Specifically, the one Death of Some Salesman, which has Tim Curry in multiple roles as like a Deep
Nice.
South murder family. absolutely fantastic. I found the origin of a meme, which I love doing.
Sorry, guys.
The
A deep South murder family.
Deep South Murder Family, played by Tim Curry,
Yeah,
British
sounds.
Shakespearean actor. Um, is he British? He's British, right?
Yeah, he's English. Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah. So the Joe Pesci meme where he's walking and he's like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?" That is from a Tales from the Crypt episode from season two,
Oh wow.
where he dates a pair of twins, and it's directed by legendary action movie producer Joel Silver, notorious producer
Whoa.
Joel Silver. And I'm pretty sure it's shot in one of his houses because he collects Frank Lloyd Wright houses. Joel Silver Studios ident is like a Frank Lloyd Wright design, I think, like a mirror thing. Anyway, uh, back to anthologies. So we're in the Creepshow Tales from the Crypt era. Shoot forward to 1983, Twilight Zone the movie, which is
Oof.
perhaps now notorious for actually straight up murdering someone.
Yeah, dead
Um,
kids and everything. Real dead kids, not the fun
Real,
ones that we
actual
like.
dead kids. John Landis is, for all intents and purposes, a murderer. Um, 995's Tales from the Hood, a fantastic black coded anthology. Then 2007's Trick or Treat. And these are all milestones going into
Sure,
each
yeah, yeah.
year.
I mean, there are plenty more, and I think I've got a list of some deeper cuts that we're gonna maybe delve into briefly later on as well.
Oh, grand. And yeah, finishing us off with VHS 2012, of which there is now 8 million.
Eight
Um,
million, but the first one starring Hannah FIERMAN, who's going to be on the show later.
the first shot of all of VHS, perhaps the most iconic. And then in 2012, ABCs of Death, which was another significant anthology, and it had 26 short films, each with quite an influential director that would go on to.
I don't know. I've not seen that. There's two of those, right? There's a
Yeah, there
second
is. Yeah.
one. I know the Soska sisters did one of them, did a segment in one of them, but I forget which one.
Do you
Might have
know
been the
what?
second one.
Uh, I think if I watch them again, I'd enjoy them. But the only one that stands out to me out of both films, 26 shots each, is a shot called Zygote, which I think is Xavier Gens, and it's about a fetus inside a woman that grows to the same size as her and eventually like breaks all of her skeleton and like grows fully formed in her skin.
Christ.
It's very good.
Sounds great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's
All
another
right.
one with a woman that's got body dysmorphia and she's obese and she cuts all of her flesh off to be thin.
Wow.
Anyway,
All right. So we'll
moving
rewind
on.
slightly. So we'll start off with Cat's Eye, which was 1985, I want to say.
I like the way he sounded like a cat when he said that.
Was it 1985? I can't remember. I've not written it
Uh,
down.
why is this the only set of my notes where I've not put the date in the actual title? Oh, did I? No, I didn't. Um, I think it's 1985. I think you're right. Which means you've done them in chronological order because Creepshow 2 is 87. Are you Googling?
Yes, I have. Yeah, and I've just quickly Googled it, and it is indeed 1985. Live journalism, fact checking.
I
Yeah,
was,
so
yeah,
Cat's Eye, 1985, directed by Louis Teague.
yeah. He did other things. I think he did Navy
Stacked cast.
SEALs.
We got. Did he?
He's a very
Well, it
80s
was one of Drew
movie director.
Barrymore's early roles when she was a child star.
Yeah, so
Teague.
this
Um,
is uh, a starring vehicle. So this is after Firestarter, and this is
yeah,
Dino De Laurentiis, famous producer Dino De Laurentiis, wanted a star vehicle for Drew Barrymore. So he kind of, I think that's how he got Stephen King in to build this kind of anthology that's built around her character in a really Stephen King on coke way. Um, but I think it's kind of hilarious that Dino De Laurentiis said, "Hey, Steve, give me a star vehicle for Drew Barrymore," and he made it about Cat. But anyway,
well, she got very into coke as well, didn't she? At some point.
she did.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think let's just clarify as well the theme. Obviously, there's an anthology theme here because the episode's about anthologies. We picked two thematically linked films, and Stephen King is very much the link between the two as well for reasons I mentioned earlier. He wrote all of it basically, didn't he?
He did, yeah, yeah. It's very much. I think we spoke about this as we both watched it. Cat's Eye in particular is an orgy of Stephen King.
It
It
even
opens
starts
with,
off
yeah,
the titular cat that links is in the wraparound that links all three stories. Um, Variously runs away from the car Christine in the
yeah,
intro.
and
A
Cujo.
big rabid looking Saint Bernard, yeah. So Cujo as well. So it's Stephen King's, right from the off is a massive factor in it.
There's I think at one point someone's watching The Dead Zone on. Oh
Oh,
yeah, in Quitters Inc. James Woods is watching Dead Zone, and he says, "Oh, who writes this shit?"
nice. I didn't pick up on that. So yeah, James Woods also. Robert Hayes, famously of Airplane.
Of Airplane, yeah, that's pretty much the
In
only other
Airplane, he
thing.
had a drinking problem. In this, he had a whole different problem.
Lots of problems. He had a pigeon problem.
The pigeon problem pecking his ankle.
Yeah. So so we've got three shorts that are linked by a journeying cat. So this is, I mean, the cat's in mild peril for some of this film, but anyone that likes cats, the cat is awesome in this. He's later named by Drew Barrymore's character General,
Yeah,
but this is essentially a film, and you have to just go with it because it's Stephen King. This is a film where a cat is somehow spiritually linked to like the soul of a little girl played by Drew Barrymore across several characters, and he journeys across the land to fight. Right. So I came to this film at the last shot. I turned it on in the middle of the night when I was really young, and all of a sudden I'm watching a cat have a knife claw fight with a little fairy tale goblin dude
little goblin fella.
who is fighting over Drew Barrymore and trying to steal a breath. And I'm like, what is this actual fucking awesome shit I'm watching?
Yeah,
Um,
it's great
and then
effect as well. Like there's a mixture of like sort of practical effects of like animatronic kind of things, but then puppeteering. But then the shots of the little guy, they're obviously like they've got a guy in a suit because it looks really real
yeah,
at times, like with a miniature set.
and it's all like practical cat acting as well.
Yeah,
And
General's a great actor.
you get like fucking CG bollocks now, like that. I keep thinking of that Harrison Ford film from Disney where it's one of the main characters is a dog and they CG the dog. It's like, come
Yeah,
on, what is more expensive?
just get a cat.
Yeah, just get a cat.
They're
The
everywhere.
the processing power of a computer and all the teams of people that need to build a CG cat or dog can't be comparable to one person that knows how to train a cat.
No, you
Can't be
think not.
comparable.
You think not. Then again, given the lack of success we have with how many cats are in it most weeks, maybe there aren't that many Hollywood cats because there don't seem to be many films with them in.
That's true. I remember reading that for Darren Aronofsky film Caught Stealing, which has a very famous cat. It's the one that played Church in the Pet Sematary remake.
Another Stephen
Um,
King cat film.
Another Stephen King cat film. So this Caught Stealing, I remember reading an interview with the trainer, and she said uh, she needed months in advance to acclimate the cat to the outdoor areas. So she'd have to go on location for months and make sure that the cat was comfortable with all the places they were going to film. So I guess that's it. I guess it's prep.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got to do it right, haven't you? You don't want to be cruel to the cat in any way.
I
Um,
mean, there's some iffy stuff here. Like, how are they getting the cat to jump around that
and
electrical?
well, this is it. So the general, the cat is trying to find Drew Barrymore, and that's how the cat ends up in these other two stories.
Yeah,
Um, so the story you're talking about is Quitters Inc., which is James Woods wants to quit smoking, and if you read the story by Stephen King, it's in again Night Shift or something, Skeleton Crew maybe.
yeah.
Um, he goes to a clinic that promises to help you quit smoking, and they use terrifying, probably well, absolutely highly illegal methods to dissuade you from ever smoking again. One of which is the example that the guy who runs this clinic, he puts his cat in like an electrified cage and starts zapping the cat, poor General,
Yeah.
to show James Woods that if he smokes again, he'll put his wife in it. So
I love the
it's pretty
scene at the
dark.
beginning. I love it in the beginning when he's in the waiting room with the guy whose wife is in being shocked, and
Yeah,
this is before you know what
yeah,
they're
yeah.
capable of. Very, very good. Also, Louis Teague directed Cujo.
Did he? Well, that makes sense. So he's
So
got a. So there's an animal connection. You
yeah, so
like animals?
he directed Cujo. He did direct Navy SEALs, which is a really great action B movie, and he also directed Wedlock, which is a really cool Rutger Hauer sci-fi.
All right, cool. So Louis Teague has the rare honor of being the only person to have directed films based on Stephen King stories that involve both a dog and a cat.
He's unique in that sense.
Wow,
Yeah,
no one else has done that. You know what? I was
yeah.
just thinking as well. We've got Pet Cemetery, we've got Cat's Eye. Also, Stephen King did the screenplay for Sleepwalkers, which has fucking loads of cats in it.
Yeah, I love that film.
Sleepwalkers,
It's
stop
very
looking at me,
silly.
you
You
fucking cat.
that's like oh god, I love it.
Watch Sleepwalkers if you haven't seen it, guys. It's fucking great.
Watch all of those like TV movie funded kind of Stephen King adaptations. The Langoliers is great.
Langoliers is great, yeah.
The Night Flyer is
The Night Flyer is
awesome.
incredible.
The one with
Absolutely
Miguel Ferrer.
underrated vampire film.
Yeah,
Incredible. Yeah,
great
Miguel Ferrer.
film.
Vampire piss in that you get to see. That's exciting.
Yeah, outstanding.
Vampire having a piss.
I so staying with Quitters Inc. I was a bit. I didn't go any further into this. I probably should have, but Quitters Inc. The whole setup reminded me rewatching it of the game. You know, the David Fincher film with Michael Douglas.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it's very. We're going to set you out into the world, and you're not going to know where we are, but we're watching you, and we're going to do this. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit like the game. It's a very similar setup. There's an actor in it. You know when he's having the fantasy sequence at the party where everyone's smoking, and his mate's asking him
Yeah.
to have a cigarette, and he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, you've quit," and then he tells him to fuck off. That is an actor called James Rebhorn, who's a character bit actor, who is the guy that plays the fake um, interviewer of Michael Douglas in the game that introduces him to the game.
See, once more, we've picked two films, and well, they're not linked. That's not links between the two films we're talking about, but there's link upon link tonight.
Yeah,
I feel like there's many, many, many tenuous links to things.
I need to delve further into that because I'm sure Fincher must have taken some inspiration from that. But yeah.
So the end result of Quitters Inc. Was James Woods like a bellend at this point in life? I don't know. He became a bellend in later life,
Well,
didn't he?
we have to imagine that James Woods has always been a bellend. He's probably always been a Republican, and that's one of the main reasons that he is a bellend.
I mean, I don't think all Republicans are necessarily bellends. I think he's a particularly vicious Republican bellend.
Yeah, I guess it's the combination of your politics and your social media. They should just never mix, should they?
No.
He's been on.
Well, that's why we didn't know because we didn't have what was he on Twitter? Probably he wasn't
Yeah,
on Twitter because we didn't have Twitter in 1985, so it probably wasn't as overt.
yeah. He probably had some sort of newsletter that got lost in the ether.
Yeah.
Um. So while we're on the first shot, probably mention the score by the great composer Alan Silvestri is fantastic.
Ah, yeah,
Gorgeous synthy score, and the best thing about it for me is the cat has a hero theme.
yeah. It
It's like
does, and it's very
every
on.
time, yeah, every time you see General do something, it's like na 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 na. It's very good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's very heroic, very cool.
And then we move on to the ledge. Is that
The
what it's called?
Ledge, that's what
The
it's
ledge,
called.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, they call it the Quitters Inc. The Ledge, and then the last one's just the third story is just called General because it centers around General and Drew Barrymore.
It's about our boy.
But the Ledge, yeah, Robert Hayes of Airplane in trouble at height again.
Yes, yeah. More connections.
More connections.
I think I think the ledge, and I do like it. I think the ledge ultimately suffers because it comes, and this happens a lot with horror anthologies while we're talking about them. In that there's always, especially if it's just three, as a lot of anthologies are just three shorts. It there's always one weaker one. There's usually just one weak one, and I think the ledge, as good as it is, it's the weakest one because it comes in between Critters Inc. in general.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. I'll give you that. Yeah, I like them all. And and it is quite nail biting to watch him. So the premise of the ledge is, I'm assuming listeners have seen it if you're listening to the show. He gets basically forced to walk around the very narrow ledge of a massive skyrise. So one tiny slip or one gust of wind, and he's street pizza essentially. And he gets harassed by a pigeon on the way, as you pointed out earlier.
Absolute knobheads.
Basically, absolute wankers. No, I like pigeons. I don't think I'd like one while I was up there if it started pecking my ankle while I was in a life or death situation.
There's a very
It's
comedic
probably
shot
just
where he just like kicks it off the shelf, kicks it
yeah,
off the ledge.
yeah, boots it. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good short. Not my favorite. My
It,
favorite. I think the strongest one's probably Quitter's Ink. It's weird though to consider that all three stories are Stephen King stories or Stephen King penned stories. There's
yeah.
only one that's got any kind of supernatural bent, and that's the third one because it's got a literal, actual tiny goblin fella in it.
Well, it's interesting. So the ledge, the bad guy, do we get the impression that he has some sort of supernatural luck? Because at the beginning, he bets that the general's going to live if he runs across the road,
Oh,
and
that's
then
right. Yeah,
he kind of speaks to the cat. He's like, now's your chance," and he runs and he survives. So we get the impression that this the villain's been getting ahead in life by having this kind of magic luck sort of stuff. That's what I got from it anyway.
oh, maybe. Yeah, I didn't consider that. Yeah, could be. Could be.
Um, but one of the things that I would say about Ledge is having binged Tales from the Crypt recently, it's the most Tales from the Crypt short. It's very simple, self-contained story in which bad things befall the characters at the end.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all like that, but the Ledge was very Tales from the Crypty.
it was. Yeah, he very much gets his comeuppance in a Tales from the Crypt esque fashion. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't say that about Creepshow too. Some of them get their comeuppance, some of them don't. Um,
yeah,
so on. Do you want to go on to the general?
yeah. I mean, what can you say about this?
It is a
If
lot
you
of fun. It's a very
if
fun story.
if you described it to anyone, they'd want to see it. It'd be like, do you remember Drew Barrymore and how awesome she was, especially as a child actor? She's in a film where there's a little goblin trying to steal her breath, and there's this like dope hero cat called the General that fights it at night.
It's got his own theme tune.
He's got his own theme tune. I love it. I love it. I love like the kind of the fake out at the end, the all the way through it. The mother of Drew Barrymore's character, her aunt is like superstitious and thinks cats steal kids' breath, and we find out that it's the little goblin dude. But then right at the end, the the movie makes us feel like the general's been playing with us all along, and he's gonna steal the kid's breath. And then she gives him a big hug at the end, and it's really sweet.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Love a little
nice.
fake out. But yeah, the little goblin dude, and he's a proper little gremlin type. He's a gremlin archetype.
He looks
He's
like a
like
little troll, doesn't he? Like
he
a
does. He's got little bells. He's like a little red cap.
yeah, he has.
Uh,
Yeah, he's got little jangly
he's
bells,
got little
like a
jangly
Christmas
bells.
elf,
He's got a little knife, and the
little
dad finds the
dagger.
knife.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The dad finds the dagger at the end, and it's teeny. And
yeah. After he's been sucked into a fan, he finds his
yeah.
little arm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's the song? Because he gets stuck on the turntable, and the general keeps turning the spin speed up.
Oh, I can't remember. It's a great scene though. Yeah, because this little tiny troll's running for its life, but can't
Yeah,
run anywhere because it's like a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
it's
He's stuck
yeah,
on this record. Yeah, I don't remember the song.
yeah. I feel like the general shot is. I mean, the film as a whole is great, but the general feels like your reward at the end.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
I
No,
I love
it's
it.
definitely my favorite of the three.
Well, this we were asking ourselves before we did this, and this I think is my favorite anthology.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. That's you chose this. I went with Creepshow too. It's the one I've seen the most. Um, it's quite iconic. You know, I would have liked to have watched Creepshow one again, but it's quite difficult to get hold of. I can't find it on DVD anywhere.
It is. It was on Shudder for a while, but it went off. I like Creepshow one. I wondered why you chose this one. I don't remember me liking Creepshow 2 much more than one, but I rewatched it and it is very good. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've seen it less. That was essentially the thing. I love Creepshow too. I've got an original 1986 Spanish cinema poster of Creepshow 2 on my landing. That's how much I like Creepshow 2. I think it might have been
Oh,
one of the first anthologies I saw. I remember my mum telling me about it, about The Raft, when I was a kid, and I didn't watch it for a few years later. This is not one that traumatized me as a kid. I watched it years later, but
yeah.
the memory of my mum telling me about The Raft and the ending of The Raft when the guy reckons he's won and he hasn't because the creature in the lake devours him on the edge of the lake anyway.
I tell you
Um,
what, he's a bit like I didn't really remember it, and then it gets to the end of the raft, and I'm like, fucking hell, it's a bit dark in it.
yeah, well, he's quite predatory as well. You know,
Yeah,
that
well, that's
guy.
it. Yeah.
He's I was like, what are you talking about? I thought you meant the fact that he gets eaten at the end, right? Yeah, I mean,
Oh
yeah.
no, that's not dark. That's
No, I
fine.
thought I was shocked by you finding that dark. No, yeah, he's very predatory. I mean, his name's Randy, so
But isn't he? He's meant to be. He's meant to be like the good guy.
yeah, he is, and he's not really. He's very creepy.
Right? Are we going?
Um,
Are we going on to
no,
Creepshow then?
we'll talk about that in a bit. I've got a
Oh,
few.
okay.
We've got some listeners have told us what their favourites are,
Oh,
favourite
good.
anthology films. So we'll chuck a few of those in. Chien Echo says Trick or Treat, VHS, and Tales from the Crypt. So yep, I agree. Movie Post Mortem also says Trick or Treat. I'll fucking love Trick or Treat though.
It's very good. We've got a sequel
It's
coming
a,
soon.
have we actually? Because I feel like there's been a sequel coming
Yeah,
soon for the last 20 years.
yeah. He started developing it when he was done with Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Right, because he was also in line to do the Nightbreed TV show, which seems to have gone the way of all things.
Yeah,
Um, with Mike Doherty. Oh well, that'll be good. I hope he does. I know there's comics out there, isn't there? There are comic affiliated comics
yeah,
that I think he wrote that
yeah.
are new stories in the Trick or Treat universe with Sam. Um, Fish says Creep Show, great. Steve Eve Libertine Dream, right? I'm basic. I love Creep Show the best, but I just watched After Midnight recently and it was really fun. After Midnight, have you seen After Midnight? I
After
haven't.
Midnight? No, I don't think I don't think I have.
No, we'll keep an eye out for that one. I can't comment on it. And then Grant says I've seen quite a few, and the ABCs of Death is up there. But this one will always be special to me. Grim Prairie Tales. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it rings a bell, but again,
I've
it's
seen it
not.
once a long time ago. I think it's 1990 or very late 80s or very early 90s. It's basically Western horror. It's the anthology. James Earl Jones is in it. Brad Dourif is in it. Great cast. I only remember vaguely kind of one of the stories from it. And the story in question is there's a woman who's pregnant and she ends up camping in like the prairie or whatever at night with some guy, some cowboy.
Yeah.
And it turns out she kind of, I think she like seduces him and they end up shagging, but she's not really pregnant. She's some kind of monster and she sucks him in and that's how she feeds. And her bump is actually her last digested meal of a human man who she's tricked into
Whoa,
shagging her so she can eat him via her downstairs.
I love it.
Yeah, a great fucking premise. It's the only bit I really remember. Um, but yeah, Grant says it's good, so I'm going to make an effort to seek that out. I've never seen it on any streaming service. That's why I've probably not watched it again since I was a kid. I don't even know when
Yeah,
I feel like it was on BBC One or something or two when I was a kid, and I just caught a bit of it.
yeah. I'm adding these
Um,
to the list. After Midnight, which looks great, and Grim Prairie Tales. Yeah,
Grim Prairie Tales. So that actually segs quite nicely into. I mentioned earlier. There's a few other kind of honourable mentions I wanted to go through if that's all right with you.
yeah.
Um, so there's another 80s one called Dead Time Stories,
Oh, I know that one. Yeah,
which is quite fun. It's got a really good theme tune. Um, it's not as great as the others, but it's got a lot of fun. We've got Southbound, which is a more recent one.
Southbound is great. Southbound is very
Southbound
good.
is excellent. Um, who directed? David Bruckner
South.
directed a bit of it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, David Bruckner, who we've been talking about a lot recently, and he directed obviously Amateur Night, starring Hannah Fierman, who's once again I'm going to point out that she's coming up later in the show. So
yeah.
hold on. Um, one of my favorites and one that I did watch as a kid, which isn't scary at all now, but did shit me up was when I was a kid. I think it was 1980 or 1981 when it came out. It's called Monster Club.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, yeah.
Vincent Price, written by R. Chetwynd Hayes. Vincent Price is in it, and he goes to literally a guy meets Vincent Price, who turns out to be a vampire. He takes him to the Monster Club, which is where all the monsters go. It's literally a club, a nightclub with monsters in it.
Yeah.
And there are a few stories in there. There's a cat in it. In the first episode, sorry, the first segment of that, there's this creature called a shadmock, which its evil power is it can, if it whistles, it burns things, like it
Yeah.
will set you on fire. And this cat eats the birds that he feeds, and he whistles the cat to death, basically. So it doesn't end well for the cat, but there is a cat in it.
There is a Donald Pleasance in it as well.
Donald Pleasance is in it, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
It's some really good stories. It's very much in the vein of what we're talking about now, shock endings and all that.
Yeah.
There's a really cool scene in the club where a woman starts. They've got a stripper on stage, and she starts stripping, and then it turns into like an animation, and you see this woman's silhouette in an animated style, and she doesn't stop stripping with her clothes. She continues to strip the flesh off her legs until she's just like a dancing skeleton.
Love it.
Really fucking cool scene. Um, John Carpenter's Body Bags.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a bit of a classic, really, isn't
It
it?
is a bit of a classic. I don't remember much of it. I mean, he plays like a morgue attendant, ironically
Yeah.
enough, doesn't he? Um, I don't remember any of the stories. I feel like there's one with like a hair transplant. It's been a long time
Uh,
since I've seen it, like an evil hair transplant.
so we have the Morgue. Oh, that's the wraparound, I think, the Morgue.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
the gas station. Hair. Yeah, you're right.
There
Hair.
you go. Yeah,
The one with Stacey Keach in it. Yeah.
I'd love to watch that again.
Yeah.
And
Great
I
cast.
recently, this is well, we'll talk about the Twilight Zone as well for a little bit. So, Twilight Zone movie, possibly one of the most frightening intros to any film of all time when I was a kid.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd, it fucking
Yeah.
terrified me as a kid,
Yeah.
right?
You want to see something scary?
You know, if it's something really scary, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's not exclusively a horror anthology as the Twilight Zone movie, but it's got a horror wraparound, and it does a remake of the Terror, that classic episode. Is it Terror at 30,000
Thirty
feet?
thousand feet. Yeah, the one
Is
with
it 30,000? The one with
John Lithgow as opposed to
John
William Shatner.
Lithgow's in it as opposed to William Shatner, who's in the original, yeah. And there's like a gremlin thing on the plane. So that's a lot of fun. There's also a really fucking surreal one where this kid has the power to make whatever he wants to happen come
That's
true.
very very cool.
It's very cool, but it's really creepy and weird. Like there's like they're opening doors and there's giant eyeballs. Like they're in some weird place that this kid's created in his head. The
Yeah.
one of the people in it, his sister ends up in a cartoon in the TV and gets eaten by like a cartoon dragon thing or a wolf or something.
Yeah. Joe
Really
Dante, that
weird.
one.
Joe Dante, yeah, yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's got like a weird bunny rabbit thing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. As you said, sadly, two kids and the actor Vic Morrow died in a helicopter accident during the filming of the Twilight Zone movie.
Yeah.
But
Like read into it, read into the history. Don't take our word for it, but it's heavily evidence that there were lapses made on the set. Predominantly, a lot of things signed off by John Landis. He's the director. He's running the film,
yeah,
and he got away scot-free.
well, I think there's also an element though that I believe the laws around certain things, that health and safety type stuff, got tightened up as a result of that. So I'm not sure if he specifically did anything that was technically illegal. It just wasn't very safe, rather
Yeah,
than.
yeah, but it's the same.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying it
know,
was
man.
right to
It's
put
this.
children in those situations, but I mean,
Yeah,
technically, you could argue. I mean, that's why he got away with it. I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not as au fait with the history as perhaps you are, but I've in my head somewhere I've got the impression that laws were changed or tightened up as a result, which makes
but
me think the laws weren't there in the first place
even
to
if it
to prevent it.
was, a similar thing happened when Brandon Lee died. Um, like more safety regulations were brought in. Similar thing happened quite recently when Alec Baldwin
Yeah,
killed
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
DOP. It's like these things introduce more rules, but when you're working on a film set and people die, you know, I don't know. It's not the 1920s anymore when like large scale filmmaking was, throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. This
It's
was
not
the
Ben Hur.
80s. Yeah, it's not Ben-Hur where they'd just be like killing horses and shit.
Yeah,
It's the 1980s and John Landis. should have known better, I think,
Oh
from
yeah,
what I've
fair.
read
I
of
mean,
it.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it to comment. I just that's what I'm aware of is that perhaps the laws weren't there to have him liable for it, which is why he didn't get done. It's a
Yeah,
shame.
yeah,
I mean, it's a shame for everyone involved. I mean, he's a great director, just obviously not a very good guy, it seems.
yeah, yeah,
And then, if I may round this off with Tales from the Dark Side of the movie. So, Tales from the Dark Side was an 80s TV show. I didn't watch really any of that, but the film's iconic. The film is the same sort of setup. You've got Debbie Harry in the
yeah,
wraparound, who is a witch who's kidnapped a kid and is intending to cook him and eat him, essentially.
yeah,
Um, it's a very silly wraparound because the kid keeps distracting her with stories and he tells her the stories. And the stories are really cool. There's a genuine good mummy story, which I think is based on Lot 241 or something, which I
yeah,
think has been adapted for other things. Might have been Arthur Conan Doyle, maybe wrote that, I think,
yeah.
something like that.
Arthur Conan Doyle, yeah, Lot 249,
249, that was it. And that's got Christian Slater and Steve Buscemi in it. That was really good.
and Julianne
Uh,
Moore.
Julianne Moore, of course.
Yeah,
And then you've got An Evil Cat story. The
yeah, Cat
Cat
from
from
Hell.
Hell, Cat from Hell, which I found out, written by Stephen King, was originally intended to be in Creepshow 2, but they cut it out, so they chucked it in Tales from the Dark Side instead
Ah,
for
okay.
some reason that I don't know. And then you've got the classic Gargoyle one, which is everyone's favorite. Everyone remembers the Gargoyle one.
Yeah.
Great big practical evil gargoyle creature. Tragic story. Anyway, yeah, watch those. Um, right, we'll do guess the taglines, Ken, and then we'll crack on to Creepshow 2. Happy with that?
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. First tagline: In space, no one can eat ice cream.
Yeah.
All right. Number two: Leave the children home, and if you are squeamish, stay home with them.
Oh, okay. Right.
And finally, are you eating it, or is it eating you? I got 10
Okay.
seconds. Do a new theme tune because I can't remember the old one. I reckon that's probably about 10 seconds. Right. In space, no one can eat ice cream.
Kill
Attack of
clowns
the
from outer
Killer
space.
Clowns. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Might
like,
as well be called that.
I really know this one, so I'm gonna get the title wrong.
Yeah. Well done. Leave the children home, and if you are squeamish, stay at home with them. I would not.
Uh,
I would not have got this. I'll give you a clue. It's Vincent Price.
oh, I don't. I don't know.
Witchfinder General.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
I
Oh,
know.
so that's
You
a
think
tagline that
that'd
has
be like
nothing to do with the film.
no, you think it would be like Abominable Dr. Phibes or something, but no, Witchfinder General.
Yeah.
And are you eating it or is it eating you?
This is another one I'm not tough on.
Think
Uh,
food related 80s horror.
food related 80s horror.
Yeah, I can only think of one, really. You'll kick yourself when I tell you.
Is it the stuff?
It is. Well done.
Yeah,
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
All right, well done. Okay, Creepshow 2 then. As I said before, my favorite probably, I don't know if it is my favorite anthology horror. I just really like it. I've seen
So
it a lot of times and I wanted to celebrate it by talking about it tonight.
you talking about animation before from the Vincent Price one, and I watching this again, I was really struck by the animation. I love that expressive. It's less Disney and more like Don Bluth, but very kind of expressive,
Yeah,
uh, rough animation style for
sure.
the wraparound, which
Yeah, the
is
wraparound. It opens with an animated. Well, it doesn't start off animated, does it?
no, because the creeps giving the kid the comic book,
Yeah,
and
the
then the
creep
rest
played by
Savini.
Savini, yes, and he voices
Yeah,
the creep as well, I believe, in this one.
he does. Yeah. Um.
Um, Rick Wakeman did the music. Rick
Ah.
Wakeman, who also did a musical of War of the Worlds,
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
and he was
I
Grumpy Old Man.
I had that on cassette tape,
Yeah.
and I used to play it all the time. Very good.
Again, screenplay by Romero, stories by King, and directed by Michael Gornick. What else did he do then?
I don't know.
All right, I thought you'd have
No, we
a
don't do
lot.
research on this podcast.
Oh,
Uh,
no, I just thought you might know because you're very knowledgeable.
I'm not knowledgeable. But
All
that's,
right,
that's all a lie.
right.
Um,
Michael
so
Gornick, then famously director of Creepshow 2.
so he's got an no. I actually did, as you know, spot the Arrow Video special edition from a few years back when I was out on my jollies around the time that we planned this episode, and I did go through some of the making ofs and stuff. There's actually it's a lovely box, and there's a very sweet uh, animated style picture of George and Stephen on the back cover, kind of smiling at each other. It's very cute.
Oh, nice.
Um, but yeah, Michael Gornick, cinematographer on Dawn of the Dead.
Wow, was he?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Um, yeah. Uh, he's still making films, you know. He's not done much. Oh, he directed 4 episodes of Tales from the Dark Side.
Well, there you go.
Hey, hang on. He directed. Hang on a minute. He directed a seg.
Listeners, we're discovering this live. This is great journalism.
No. This is all the research that I did. But I'm just getting
Uh,
surprised at
d-
it. Stephen King's Golden Tales, 1985, director of the segment "The Word Processor of the Gods."
what the fuck, Stephen King's Golden Tales?
Compilation of 5 horror stories
What?
from Tales from the Dark Side 1983 that takes the viewer into dark world of vampires, cursed objects. Frank De Palma, Jodie Foster. Oh, we've bollocks this.
So what? Hang on. So is this like a collected volume of episodes of Tales from the Dark Side,
No, it seems like its own. Oh no, wait. No, you might be right.
and they released it in like a film format on VHS or something?
Yeah,
Well,
you
that's
might
all
be.
right though. Yeah, that's all right. So Stephen King, he's everywhere. This lad,
He is. He's got my
all over the
favorite.
show.
He's got one of my notes is my favorite Stephen King cameo in the third shot, the hitchhiker.
Oh yeah,
His cameo's like, looks like a black guy, huh?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, Stephen, why did you
Incredible.
want to say that?
I know, I know. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, he wasn't wrong, but I mean,
No,
yeah.
no.
What a strange thing to say. And Stephen King was famously, obviously, was it Gordy in Creepshow 1?
Yeah,
Is that his name,
the
Gordy Varrell?
the meteor guy. Yeah,
Yeah, the guy that turns into some moss.
yeah. That's my favorite shot.
Right. So we start off with Old Wooden Head, which is about perhaps quite a disrespectful wooden statue outside a shop in an ailing town.
Yeah, there's a few things that are disrespectful about this
Yeah,
shot.
well, you pointed this out to me while you were watching it, didn't you? About the guy with the long hair. I can't remember his name.
So this is actor Holt
That was him.
McElhaney.
Holt McElhaney.
Um, everyone will know him from Mindhunter,
Yeah,
and he was also the guy in Fight Club that comes up with his name was Robert Paulson
his
chant.
name was Robert Paulson.
So he is notoriously a white man, and he is in brownface for this
Oh,
film.
yeah.
So I dug out an interview from Holt himself, and he says, I auditioned to play a college frat boy, but the producer offered me the role of an American Indian. I said, I can't play an Indian. I'm a white Irish guy who was born in New York. He said, you've got good bone structure. We'll give you a makeup and a wig. So
Christ on earth.
there you go.
The 80s were wild, man. There's absolutely no way that would be going on right now.
I'm watching the shot and I'm like, he's got the wig on and he's got like the fake tan. I'm like, I know that guy. I know that actor, and he's not that
Fucking
color.
hell. Yeah, so there's a lot of stereotypes happening there with the statue of the sort of tribal chief, the titular old wooden head. So Holt McCannely's character is a piece of shit.
Hmm.
Murders this old shopkeeper and his wife to steal a bunch of stuff. It's a strange episode, this, because like the entire thing is like maybe 25 minutes long, and 20 minutes of it is building up to like
Yes.
the violent bit at the end where the whole payoff is. But there's no real sort of allusion to the fact that this statue. So what happens is the statue comes to life and gets revenge for his mate, who was the shop owner.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like 20 minutes of build up and then 5 minutes of the statue finds these three guys and kills them.
We spend a lot of time with just the old couple and, taking payment from.
This is it. And the backstory of the town is dying. She wants him to retire. He's worked there all his life. Yeah, he takes payment from the Native American tribe because they owe him money because no one's got any money because this town's fucked essentially.
Yeah,
Um, and then this Native American kid who's not really Native American
yeah.
is an arsehole who comes and nicks all that, kills them, and then him and his two mates run off. And that's 20 minutes of telling all this really tragic story about this dying town and how these arseholes killed this old couple. And then 5 minutes of the statue, and then it kills everyone.
5 minutes of Old Woodenhead being a slasher movie
Yeah, it's like
villain.
20 minutes of build up for a 5 minute payoff. It's a very strange story.
I like the obviously I like all the stuff about the dying town and everything. I like the motivations of the the main bad guy. I like how he's a Native American. He's like related to the old man that gives the jewels to the shop owner, but he's so obsessed with this shallow Hollywood dream that he's willing to betray his whole people.
And commit literal murder for
Yeah,
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's just all around piece of shit driven by the desire to be a Hollywood star, isn't he?
yeah. So I like that aspect of it. Yeah,
I mean, it's
definitely.
not a bad story. It's just a bit. I just find it strange that you got, as I say, if it was a slasher film, that would be like what, an hour and a bit of the setup, and then like 15 minutes of killings. It's just it was strange. Like there's no horror action interspersed in the build up. It's just 20 minutes of build up, and then the horror happens right at the end.
I mean, part of that build up is a pretty tense
Yeah, I guess.
assault
Yeah,
on an old couple. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I suppose there's a horror element to that. I'm just thinking how it ends so supernaturally in a slasher format. It doesn't really. But then again, I guess that maybe is supposed to blindside you a bit.
yeah. I
It's a
have
good
a
story,
I have a very important note about this shot.
right?
The garage door closing on the second guy that gets killed by Chief Woodenhead. The sound effects is the door closing in Aliens.
Is it?
Yeah, like the doors from the Sulaco, or I think it's just any doors closing in Aliens. That's the sound effect. It's a very
That's
famous
interesting.
sound effect. It's used quite a lot in the 80s, but
Right.
I
Yeah.
know
I
it
mean,
whenever I
because
hear it.
eighties was only a year before Creepshow too, so yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do them in slightly different order then, because I want to talk about the raft last, because that's my favorite.
Oh, you're skipping forward. Oh,
I want to
wow.
skip forward to the Hitchhiker.
Right.
Um, so the Hitchhiker is about a woman who runs someone over by mistake, and then he returns from the dead to basically hunt her down, and he chases her about.
Do you want to hear the
I don't have
most?
anything else to add
Do
about that. To be honest,
you
that's what it is.
do you want to hear the most 1980s ass conversation? Then watch the Hitchhiker short where
Yeah.
it opens with a discussion over wind-up clocks versus digital clocks.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very of its time, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the main character is played by Lois Childs, aka Holly Goodhead from Moonraker,
Yeah,
one of the best named Bond girls.
and there were a fair few good Bond name girls.
It's a it's a really interesting shot. I'm not sure I got it the first time I watched it. It's like she runs over a guy,
Well,
she
she's
feels
having an
guilty.
affair first of all.
She's having an affair.
She's paying a gigolo for sex
Yeah,
essentially, and then I mean she doesn't really run him over on purpose either. It is very much an accident.
yeah.
Um, which is weird because when they set these kinds of things up, usually it's like a malicious act, isn't it? Where or well, I guess it's not actually. I suppose Friday the 13th. The whole premise of that is an accident because people were responsible for it, but nobody murdered Jason. He just they weren't watching him. So I suppose actually
Murder by I was
a lack
gonna
of
say
care.
I was gonna say murder by omission then, but that's not what I want.
No,
Lack of care. Yeah, okay,
lack
yeah.
of care. So that's yeah. I mean, she's not. I can't remember now. Is she paying attention to the road? Is she not, or does he just
I
come out of
don't.
nowhere?
I
I,
think it's a mix of the two, and then sh the rest of the shot is the corpse of this guy chasing her, and every time she encounters him, he's more kind of fucked up
He's like
from
Jack in American Werewolf in London. He
yeah.
keeps turning up more janky each time, more
But
fucked
but
up. Yeah,
but then it turns out in the end that it wasn't like she was imagining the hitchhiker and she's just kind of spent all night fucking herself up, like crashing a car and
yeah,
beating herself up.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's kind of like the guilt man. It's like the films that we did last time. It's guilt manifesting and killing you.
yeah. I mean, it's cleverer than it. But I certainly didn't pick up on that shit when I was a kid when I watched it. But as an adult, it makes more sense.
I mean, I barely picked up on it this time. I think it's because it comes after the raft,
Yeah,
which is quite a simple and silly premise.
I fucking love the raft. Right? Can we talk about the raft then? So the raft being my favorite segment, and also my favorite, probably one of my favorite films about an evil bin bag,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
basically that's what jellyfish are, in it? Evil bags.
yeah.
Um,
Which is piloted by I think Tom Savini's wife and assistant who learned how to scuba dive for
is it
this.
really
So they're just literally under the water,
pushing it
pushing up
about,
with their hands. Yeah,
pushing a
yeah,
bin bag about?
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, Jeremy Green, also talking about partners. Jeremy Green is one of the ladies on this raft, and she was the girlfriend of Greg Nicotero
Oh,
at the
that's great.
time. So he roped her in to be the woman who gets sexually assaulted and then and then eaten
It's
by a face
so
melting
fucking
bin
weird.
bag. It's horrible. I mean, I guess I probably didn't pick up on the implications of this when I watched it. I mean, I didn't watch it as a very young kid, but still young enough probably to not quite get what was going on. But one of the characters, so the raft involves a bunch of kids on a raft, surprisingly,
Yeah,
um, and they're in this lake on this raft, and there's this fucking toxic ooze creature thing, like a really poisonous algae creature that is on the surface of the water, and if it catches you, it basically melts you. It's like the blob, but on a lake.
yeah.
And it's grim as fuck because the first person who gets eaten is one of these young women, and she's just there, sort of wrapped up in it, going, it hurts because it's burning it, melting her alive. It's really fucking brutal story. Loads of brutal effects. There's a guy gets sucked between the wooden planks that comprise the raft. He
Oh, that's a
gets
great there.
sucked downwards through it, and it just squashes him. Bends his
Yeah,
leg upwards, like parallel to his face. Basically, it's really fucked up. And then this woman, I can't remember her character's name, but she's played by Jeremy Green, partner of then Greg Nicotero. Um, Her character falls asleep. Basically, there's her and this guy called Randy left, and Randy um, decides to live up to his name and absolutely take advantage of this woman who's basically passed out from being in a traumatic situation. He starts undressing her and stuff.
yeah. After all his mates have been mulched by this
Yeah, so he
fucking
still
unknowable
finds time to
terror.
want to fucking do that in the first place
Yeah,
instead of just cowering abject horror. He still wants to be a rapist somehow. And then I don't know if it's better or worse, but then she ends up while she's lying there and this is about to happen, the thing oozes through the cracks and melts her face, essentially. So she's screaming, then she gets pulled into the water and gets eaten. Um, and Randy, little Randy man that he is,
yeah,
he takes the opportunity then while she's being eaten to try and escape. So he fucks up. I mean, in fairness, I don't think there's much he could have done to save her anyway. It's not like you can fight a blob, you know. There was nothing he could really do to help. So, but he takes flight, swims off, gets to the shore, and he's like, haha, I beat you. And then he hasn't because it just comes on the sand and gets him.
yeah.
And
There's,
that's the bit my mum told me about when she told me about it in the 80s when she watched it, was that specific bit.
not the non-consensual sex.
Not that she didn't tell me about that, no,
No.
thankfully.
I do like it when it jumps at him at the end and it's like this just blanket of that's nice.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's a great short. Like I say, really great fucking effects. So we had Savini and Greg Nicotero involved in all that.
Two of the masters.
Two of the masters, exactly. So very, very grim, very impressive practical effects. And there's a great sting at the end where everyone's been eaten essentially in the car. Their car is still there, and the camera pans out, and there's just this old sign that says "No swimming." Great, great ending.
Yeah, it's great. It just while we were talking about it then, and briefly while I was rewatching it, it reminds me of Larry Fessenden made a very similar film a few years back called Below, where it's
Oh, did it?
a bunch of teenagers on a rowboat while something unknowable is under the water stalking them.
Sounds familiar.
It's
Yeah.
not a bin bag.
It's not an evil bin bag. All right. Well,
I think it's a giant fish.
oh, fair. Well done then, Larry Fessenden, on your original take on this story.
Yeah, he's
No
paying
evil bin
homage.
bags. Yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough. Well, people get inspired by things, don't they? It's fine.
yeah. So
So,
I had a couple more notes in
yeah,
general,
sure.
specifically around Creepshow. Um, one, they are the two, I guess, older, more archetypal, 80s kind of horror anthologies, but Tales from the Crypt owes a lot of its success from Creepshow. Uh, the Creepshow films popularized that type of EC Comics anthology horror, which kind of facilitated HBO putting money into the Tales series,
Sure.
which was like late early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. So we have that whole era and Creepshow. Because I used to think that when I was a kid, I used to think, oh yeah, Tales from the Crypt is the best, and all the rest of shit. I'm not going to watch this Creepshow bollocks. But you know, as you get older and smarter, you realize
Yeah.
that everything is kind of helping everything else. Um, and the other thing I would say was there's a couple of shorts that didn't make the cut for Creepshow 2, including Cat from Hell, which ended up in Tales from Dark Side.
Yes, indeed.
So it's this whole 80s era of anthology that we've chosen to cover with these two films. Um, all kind of interconnected, and I love it when that happens in cinema. It's all one big, not so much happy, but one big family.
Nebulous.
But yeah, it's all
Yeah.
yeah, very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
cool. I mean, this is probably the episode where we've had the most links to other things.
yeah, the 6 degrees of
60
Stephen King.
Stephen King and cats,
Yeah.
because he's got a lot of them.
Um, and in the process, we found out what Lewis Teague and Michael Gornick directed as well.
That's true. You know, there's a cat in Doctor Sleep as well, isn't there?
Yeah, he's
He's the one that sort of foretells the deaths of old people in the home. Is I remember that right?
isn't that what the cat's called? Doctor Sleep.
Oh, I think the cat's called He Foretells the Death of Old People in the Home. That's a bit of a
We can't.
mouthful.
Yeah. No, I thought.
It might, yeah. I think that is that the cat Doctor Sleep? There's not anyone else in it called Doctor Sleep, is there?
Well, maybe the old people in the home either call the cat Doctor Sleep or they call
Right.
um
We've only seen it once.
Danny Torrance Doctor Sleep because
And which also features the film features weird vampires that steal the breaths of children.
it does.
So like that little troll.
Yeah, it's almost as
Fucking
if Stephen
Army
King is
links.
Stephen King has not had an original idea since the 70s.
Since you stopped doing coke, basically. So,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm currently rereading the Dark Tower series, which I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I read it once a year. It's Stephen King's magnum opus. It's a 7 book series. Uh,
I've read up to Song of Susanna. I think I didn't finish it.
oh yeah, you should. You very much should. So for anyone who hasn't read the Dark Tower, anyone who doesn't like Stephen King, read the fucking Dark Tower series because it's a Western, it's horror, it's sci-fi, it's multi-dimensional, it's fucking fourth wall breaking. Stephen King is in the series. Stephen
Yeah, I
King's in
heard.
the series, and not only is he in the series, but he rips the absolute shit out of the very real life person that ran him over in real life and almost killed him.
Wow,
He turns him into quite the horrible character.
wow.
And I'm pretty sure part of the Dark Tower series, if not a large chunk of it, is in the Stephen King Coke era. So it's absolutely nuts. In book 3 has a sentient, evil, talking monorail.
Blaine.
Blaine the
Blaine the
Mono.
Pain.
Blaine
Yeah,
is a
I got that
pain.
far. Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah,
Dark
so
Tower.
you guys, if you haven't heard of him, check out Stephen King. He's a good horror writer.
He's all right. He's good. He's all right.
Uh, all right, we'll leave you with that, I think, ladies and gentlemen. Um, the final thing coming up for you now, as we mentioned earlier, we'll close the show with our pre-recorded interview with Hannah FIERMAN, who played Lily the succubus in the very first segment of the very first VHS film. She's multi-talented. She's done a lot more stuff that she'll be telling us about in just a few moments. Next time on the show, we've got another interview because we just spoke to Demian Rugner, director of When Evil Lurks and Aterrados.
I was
Terrified.
very, very privileged to speak to him. When Evil Lurks
Yeah.
is perhaps one of my favorite horrors of the past 10
Well,
years.
as I think I said it to him at the start of the interview, which you can hear on the next episode, I think Terrified and When Evil Lurks are genuinely two of the freshest, best horror films of the last 10 years. So, yeah, really, really great to get to talk to him. We're covering When Evil Lurks on the episode and Wreck, which is fucking great as well. So, do tune in next time to hear what Damien has to say. Damien. And we'll leave you with Hannah FIERMAN. Until next time, see you later. Take care.
See ya.
Very, very special Morgue welcome to Hannah FIERMAN. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So the episode that we're doing is kind of focused a bit around anthology horror. So obviously we're going to want to pick your brains a little bit about VHS in a short while. However, I was wondering if you wanted to tell us a little bit about your current movie that's doing the rounds that you directed. I believe it's on the festival circuit at the moment. Events surrounding a peeping Tom.
Yeah, it's the event surrounding a peeping
The
Tom,
events.
and yeah, it's as far as I know, they're still submitting it to festivals, and I don't know anything more than that. There's not, as far as I know, we haven't signed any distribution and don't have any. I don't know yet, and I don't think they do either. So I think that they're just wanting to do the festival thing and then figure out distribution after that.
Sure. Can you tell us a bit about the plot, or is it quite hush hush for you at the moment?
Oh no, it's about a man named Martin who has an unfortunate compulsion spy on people, particularly women, in order to sort of fill a void in his life and in his insecurities. And so he gets in trouble and he goes through rehabilitation and then realizes that he is being spied on by something infinitely more sinister than himself. And I guess that's all I can really tell you about the storyline without giving anything away.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It's a psychological horror thriller, and I think that I think that non-horror fans and horror fans are going to be delighted by it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, it sounds awesome from the way you describe it. So yeah, we'll look out for that when it breaks the UK at some point.
What was it like making that leap from kind of actor to director? You've directed before, you've directed kind of music videos and shorts and stuff. Like what was the transition like?
It was really easy. I took it easy on myself because I was working with people that I had worked with previously, or I already knew their work really well. And and I also didn't write and direct it. Somebody else wrote the event surrounding a peeping Tom, and I had originally been cast as the love interest about 12 years ago, and it was actually a role that was written for me. And so I was very familiar with the script and everybody involved. So that made it a little bit of an easier transition, I think, for me to direct that entire feature. And I also decided not to take the role and just to focus on directing instead. And they cast Kate Kiddo in that role, and she absolutely nailed it. And yeah, but I have directed a segment of an anthology. I wrote and directed that. and well, I co-wrote it with Josh Wilcox, and that was part of Dead by Midnight, Whites You Kill. It's the craziest horror anthology. Um, and so I had done that prior, and then also, like you said, a few music videos for the band The Lucid and Sponge, and yeah. So I felt like I was ready to take on a feature when I eventually did, and yeah, it was pretty smooth. It was a pretty smooth transition. I had been directing plays and things since I was really young as well, and I just surround myself with people that I know and trust are going to do their job really well. So it makes my job a lot easier.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new film. Um, so yeah, we are doing an episode on anthology, so we must focus on potentially your most iconic role to date. So the VHS franchise, incredibly well-known anthology franchise now, probably the longest running horror movie anthology series, comprising 43 shorts. And out of all of those 43 shorts, not only was Amateur Night the first, but it is the poster child for the entire franchise. If you Google VHS franchise and go to the image tab, your face being split in two as you transform is on the first page of images. So the I guess the success of that. I mean, let's not go too far, but the success of the franchise is in large part due to you. And I know there was a lot of creatives working on um, the first VHS film, especially the first shot. You had a brilliant director, David Bruckner, who's a fantastic filmmaker. But I guess your performance is so kind of iconic. Can you take us through the creation of Lily? How you kind of create that character?
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, that's really sweet of you. Well, okay, so David was really collaborative, and so was Nick Tukoski, the other writer for Amateur Night. And so basically, the story was already there, and it was already wonderful. This is a long time ago, so I'm trying to remember. This was like
Yes.
2011, but I do remember when I first read it, feeling like in order for this to be a very compelling story, she needs to be sympathetic. And that wasn't written in the script. None of that was like it was just this dark-eyed girl, coming out of the shadows at a club or whatever. And so I had a lot of freedom to explore that and to do what I basically they let me do whatever I wanted. Like it was a really wonderful collaboration as far as that was concerned. I don't think he reeled me in at any point. I workshopped with my stunt double, Elizabeth Davidovich. She's amazing. She's just amazing. She's so talented. She's a contortionist, and just stunt people are absolutely wild people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they do their job. But anyway, so we workshopped it together and figured out the movement that Lily would have that was sort of like a cat-like movement. And I tried to make my expressions to be a little bit bat-like, like a little too quick, a little twitchy, edgy. It wasn't just the cocaine. It was also her. Um, and so yeah, Elizabeth and I figured out the movement and how she would move on the floor and things like that. And luckily, I had a dance background, and so I was actually able to move well with her instruction. And yeah, so besides that, I just really worked hard on trying to make her more sympathetic and more understandable as somebody whose boundaries were being crossed, and her nature as a succubus, like animal, like mythological creature, her boundaries being crossed, and what happens when you cross a succubus's boundaries.
Yeah.
I think given that insight, I want to bring one of my questions forward a bit. I think one of the things that was striking to me about Amateur Night when I first saw it and just rewatching it recently is the subversion of danger. So there's a moment when you think that the men are the threat, and that's a very kind of tangible thing, right, before the shit hits the fan. Do you think that's kind of a power dynamic that doesn't really get explored, given how dangerous it can be out there for a woman?
Well, I would like to see it explored more.
Mm.
I can't think of a whole lot of examples, but I'm sure after I get off this podcast, I'll think of 10,000. But like, um, yeah, I think that was the point, was the juxtaposition of like you think it's going one way and then it takes a sharp left turn and next thing you know you're in the sky. And I think that that's one of the ways that made it so compelling and so powerful. You know, it went from this extreme vulnerability or perceived vulnerability to this brutal, mutilation. And yeah, I think that was kind of the whole point. Did I answer your question? I'm not really sure I did.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's less of a question, really, more of a statement that even back then, which was VHS was released before a lot of things, if you know what I mean, in the kind of social political climate, and it was interesting to see a script that showed that kind of threat against women and how then that was kind of flipped over.
Yeah, I think that really came out of the necessity to motivate the camera for a found footage story. You know, like it's super irritating when you're watching a found footage story and there's absolutely no reason for the camera to be on. You know, especially when somebody's like running through the woods and they're just like, "Look behind me," and it's just like, so these spyglasses, what would some horribly immature assholes do with spyglasses? Well, they'd probably want to make a porno. So
Yeah.
it was just like one thing led to another, I think, with that storyline, and that's where they ended up moving towards the whole like dynamic that we were just discussing.
Yeah. Going back to the performance, the physical performance specifically, Gaz, you had a question about the one of the sequences, the
Yeah.
silhouette. Yeah.
So I rewatched this the other day just in preparation for the interview. And I was reminded of that. There's a scene, there's a shot where Lily's kind of standing in the apartment and she's kind of got her arms above her head in like kind of at odd angles. So was that? I just wondered. I mean, what you were saying before, obviously about coordinating all this with the stunt, your stunt double. It's like, did you come up with that pose yourself as part of your creating the role, or was it a direction? How did that come about? Because it's really creepy to look at in silhouette.
Yeah, I don't want to disappoint you guys, but that was my stunt double. That was,
Ah,
yeah, that was Elizabeth. I told you she's amazing.
yeah, she nailed
Um,
it.
yeah, so she could dislocate her shoulders, and so she dislocated both of her shoulders and laid them across the back of her neck. And it's so unnerving because you're like, wait a minute, that's not physically possible.
Yeah,
Like
our body
I've never,
shouldn't work that way.
yeah, it doesn't work like that, And but it's also kind of like, yeah, well, maybe, I don't, maybe I could do that. I don't know. I've never tried, and it's like, it makes you just pause and, just like something deep inside you is just like, I don't think that's normal. And I think that pose came from sort of like if I remember correctly, it was just sort of like a spider waiting for their prey to pounce, kind of just like this, I don't know, like a spider in a hole, like making themselves look slightly different
Yeah, that's
to,
what they do. They kind of fold themselves up, don't they? And just there's a bunch of legs and angles.
man, sometimes they do. It's so freaking creepy.
Yeah, spiders no, not for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Come to Georgia. We have some.
Oh God.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man. Wait, like I grew up with black widows everywhere. And they are beautiful, but oh, they're terrifying.
Yeah.
I just recently watched an episode of The Pit, and there was a Black Widow kind of episode, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I forgot that was a thing. There are straight up Black Widows in the world that can just sting you and you're in hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
they're all over Georgia, and my mom had a rock garden, and evidently they just love rock gardens. And eventually, you do sort of get used to it. You know, you just don't go in the rock garden, and you stay away from anything that is shiny.
I wouldn't be going anywhere in Georgia, I don't think. I'll stay here.
No, okay. Well, you're welcome.
I'm sure it's lovely. I want to stay with Lily for just one more question from me. Moving on to the feature length Siren. I'm just wondering about how you kind of expanded on the character. I think I remember you. I remember reading that you cut some of the dialogue. They wanted a lot more dialogue and exposition, and you wanted to keep the mystery of the character.
Did I say that?
It was in an interview somewhere.
I did. I did that. Oh gosh, I hope Greg never sees these. Yeah, there was they added dialogue, and I was just like, that's not the character. And on the day, I just didn't say it, and they didn't notice. Because it's like, if I say I don't want to, I think I might have mentioned to Greg that, I just didn't think it was the character really, really early on. And it was something like, gosh, what was it? It was just like, I don't know, it was stupid. It was like, I don't like you or something. And I'm just like, she wouldn't do that. She wouldn't say that. That she already says no like in the first one. And so I just didn't make a big show of it. I just didn't. And then nobody noticed. And so I guess ask for forgiveness.
Yeah. You maintain the character accidentally. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, absolutely. As we've said a million times, an iconic role. Yeah, the arguably the shot and the role that spawned an entire franchise. But you have outside of VHS had a huge kind of body of work exploring different genres. You always seem to kind of gravitate towards horror. Is there a reason for that?
I don't really gravitate towards horror. It just finds me. Like, I've just got big freaky eyes, and
Typecast.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm glad to be welcomed somewhere. But I do everything. I do drama. I do comedy. They're just not as successful. But some of them are mashups of both horror and comedy, and I think I find those to be the most fun. I think anything that's entertaining has a horror element, really, or an element that could be horror, if it was played up. But yeah, I've done a lot of different things that I still am. I'm producing. Well, it's finished now, but I produced a movie called Bunker Heights that will probably be coming out either later this year or early next year, and it's like a crime creature comedy. It's like Chud meets Lethal Weapon. It's like
excellent.
Thank you.
That's a description.
Thank you. It's really fun. It's a really fun movie, and we did it on it was like a $30,000 budget, and we just got all our friends to come and play, and I'm really, really pleased with how it turned out. And the official trailer will probably drop in a couple of weeks. Actually, no, wait, it's going to be out in October. And but we do have a teaser trailer for Bunker Heights out that you can check out. But that one doesn't show any of the comedy, so just be aware if you watch that. But I'm really stoked about that one. And yeah, I have a couple of other like horror comedies that just came out, like New Year's Eve. I had a little cameo in that. What else?
I'm kind of furiously adding all of these to our list, guys.
Yeah, good.
definitely add Bunker Heights and The Peeping Tom.
Bunker Heights has a great poster.
Thank you.
And it's got it right there in the tagline: crime, comedy, creatures.
Yeah, I always reverse them. I'm just like that. Crime, comedy, creatures. It's a mouthful. Yeah. Our monsters turned out great. Like it was okay. So it was written by Joe Plaskowski and Drew Fortier, and I met Drew at a convention, and he hired me to do the music video for his band, The Lucid. So that's how this all comes together. And actually, I met his bassist, Dave Ellefson, who was formerly in Megadeth.
Dave
Before
Ellefson, holy shit.
Yeah, but before I met Drew, we were all at this convention together, and no guests came because it was poorly advertised, and so we just hung out the whole time and got to know one another. We're watching, they were watching my movie, the segment from the Anthology, what Dead by Midnight, Why to Kill, and they're like, "Hey, you want to do a music video, direct a music video?" And I was just, well, write and direct a music video, and so I was just like, "Yeah, I would love to." And then after that, we formed this relationship. So everybody in the band, The Lucid, except for the drummer, is in Bunker Heights. So we got Dave Ellefson is in it, and he's a good actor, actually. He's got a great voice. And we also have Violent J from Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we got the Juggalos. And Vinny Dombrowski from Sponge, if you remember him from the 90s. He had some big hits.
Yeah.
And some other musicians, like some guys from Bang Tango. I don't know if you remember Bang Tango from
I don't.
the 80s. And
No.
it's
I mean,
a really good band. They were they sort of like the last of the hair bands, even though they weren't really that hairy, I don't know. I didn't know them either until these guys were telling me about it. But so we got a bunch of musicians in the movie, which is fun for me. And then we have some other really amazing actors as well, like Cheney Morrow. I work with him a lot. We got Paul T. Taylor, who was one of the pinheads from Hellraiser Judgment. And
wow.
We got James L. Edwards, who was in everything in the 90s and 80s. And he's amazing. And who else do we have in it? We have Elsie Holt. He and I worked together quite a bit. And Drew Fortier also acted in it, and so did I. I have a big role in it. And I sort of play the antagonist, or one of them. And I'm really excited for people to check it out. And I can't talk about it that much because then I'm going to give away something. And so, but yeah, that's one that I'm really excited about.
Okay, well, we'll cover that for the show, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
So this show that you're doing right now is specifically for anthologies, you said, right?
Yeah, guys, you want to do a bit of a run through?
Yeah, well, there are a million podcasts out there with middle-aged men talking about horror. So
yeah.
when we decided we want to do the same thing, we decided we needed to have some kind of hook. So the premise of the show is that we come up with 2 horror movies that we think make good companion pieces that you could watch as a double feature.
Oh.
So for this episode in particular, we're going to talk about a couple of our favorite anthology horror films. Probably Creepshow, which I know you started an episode of Creepshow.
2.
Was it 2? I couldn't remember if it was 1 or 2. I remember the Horror Express episode. I've seen that. I'm not sure which the other one was.
The other one was no, I don't remember. It was season 3, and I think it was the 2nd episode, and it was called Familiar.
Okay.
Oh,
maybe
cool.
Maybe I've not seen that one. But yeah, so that's kind of the premise of the show. So that's why we kind of wanted to talk to you about VHS being the anthology. Horror.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I like to watch all the VHSs. Like when they first started coming out, I wasn't actually a huge fan. Actually, I wasn't really a huge fan of found footage just because it made me physically ill to watch.
Yeah.
But I've gotten better at watching it, and as more and more of them come out, and rewatching the old ones as well, like I have this just huge appreciation for it now, and I actually really enjoy at least some of the segments. Of course, nobody's going to enjoy all of them. It's there's something for everybody in each movie. That's what's fun about anthologies. And if you don't like one, it's over pretty quick. So, moving
Yeah.
on to a different segment, that you may or may not love. And so I really enjoyed VHS Beyond.
Yeah, Beyond's great.
Yeah, I got a big kick out of that one. All of them actually. I really I like pretty much all of them, start to finish. I think my favorite was the airplane one, and my second favorite one was the very last one with the girl that goes into space.
Oh yeah, that directed by Kate Siegel.
Maybe, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, uh, yes, yes, I think that was Kate Siegel's shot. That was great.
Yeah, that one I felt like it really harkened back to the original feel of like the first VHS. Like it had that grit. It had, it was on VHS tapes. It was very simple but really effective. Um, and the only thing that irked me about that one was that they didn't find that footage. That tape was in space,
It was.
moving away from Earth. But besides that, I just thought I thought it was really clever. I thought it was really, really well done. And I don't actually have a problem with it.
That
It's
is that is a plot hole that I've never even thought of. Why have I never thought of that?
they
Found
never found that.
footage.
They never found it. Um, but yeah, I've enjoyed watching each and every one, except I still haven't seen three. I've got to see the third one, Viral. But every time a new one comes out, I get a new set of young fans that, want to talk to me and want to send me fan mail. And it's just like this gift that keeps on giving. And so like, yeah, we should, and I want to direct one. I want to direct a
Oh,
segment.
that would be great.
Wouldn't that be
You
fun?
you've heard it here, producers of the VHS franchise who absolutely listen to our show.
Maybe one
Thanks,
day.
thanks for putting a word in for me, guys.
I
Yeah.
think Amateur Night is VHS has gone on so long now that Amateur's Night is the hipster's choice. So you grow exponentially in popularity as the older the franchise gets.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by hipster's choice.
So it's kind of I liked it before it was cool. Like I remember Amateur Night.
Oh,
Like
oh, right.
I remember when the most surprising twist was when the girl turned out to be a succubus.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the real one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Old school. Right on.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it again recently at the Atlanta Film Festival. They had their 50th anniversary and got us all together. And I mean, Dave Bruckner and I, um, we got up and left during the nudity and came back in during the violence because we were just like, okay, like I just don't have the stomach for it today, guys. And I got up, and then all they did as well. We didn't like bust up the theater. We were sitting in the back row, as good filmmakers do. And Dave's like, he's looking at his watch while we're eating popcorn in the lobby, and he's like, all right, and now it's the violence. Let's go back in. And so we all went back in. And I had just watched it previously on my own, just to revisit it because it had been so long. And it's just like now that I'm so far away, so far removed from it, time wise, and I've grown as a filmmaker, I appreciate it so much more. Like what we did is truly special. And when you're directly involved with something that is groundbreaking, it's not always easy to see because you're always being I am always being very judgmental and self-conscious and second guessing. And, so no matter how many thousands of people have told me, wow, that was really great. You did something really unusual, and groundbreaking. It takes a long time to actually believe it yourself,
mm.
Like people would ask me for my autograph and I'd be like, why? I'm not famous, And but now that I've rewatched it with a keener filmmaker's eye, I'm really pleased. I'm really proud of what we were able to accomplish. Like the range of emotion that the viewer should and probably does go through from the beginning to the end is extraordinary in such a small amount of time. Just like the the discomfort you feel, like I don't even want to mention all of the emotions that people have told me that they felt during while watching it, because I don't want to influence anyone, and I also just don't want to say it out loud. But just like that's not easy to do. A lot of films don't succeed in that. And this was done at like, how many minutes was it? Like, I don't even remember.
Yeah, the first film, like 90 minutes. So like, not long, 20, 25 minutes. If that.
I don't think it was that, because there was 6.
And the wraparounds as well. So yeah.
So, well, I included the wraparound, I think. But yeah, so like, it was also, I think, partly the timing. I think that the timing of this movie was basically its own character, because the nature of it being found footage, and the shaky cam, which I've said this before, and I'm sorry if it's a repeat for you, but like, every time the camera moves or gets jostled, or even if not, you could throw in some static, and boom, you have a cutting point. So you're not beholden to ordinary narrative format, where your cuts, are pre-chosen for you in whatever it was that you shot. So let's say that you decided you wanted to take a beat here, you can, without it being odd, without it feeling like it wasn't meant to be there. So David could pace it however he wanted, and I think he really took advantage of that.
Which is a technique. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that, but it was kind of pioneered back in the VHS days, and it's a technique that's now commonplace. Like big Marvel movies doing their big one shot, they use similar like techniques to hide a cut or to transition. So yeah, it wasn't as commonplace back then. That's a good point. Wow, pioneers, lightning in a bottle. Amateur night.
Yeah. I wish I'd gotten popular doing something that was wholesome. Wouldn't that be nice?
There's still time.
Yeah, okay. All right. Sure. Yeah, somebody's gonna hire me. I know. To play the princess, we'll get the succubus from VHS. That's a great idea.
That's why the executives shouldn't run the industry.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm done, Gaz. If you have anything else, it was absolutely amazing speaking to you, Hannah.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. I don't really have any further questions for you, but we just wanted to take the time to say again, we really, really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us today. We've gained some great insight into all of it. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Okay, well, thank you so much. And yeah, just holler at me anytime.
Cool. Thanks, Hannah. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Thank you very much.
Live from Manchester Morgue is an independent horror movie podcast, researched, written, produced and hosted by Gary Hames and Ken Talbot. New episodes air every 2 weeks on Spotify, Apple, YouTube and all major podcast providers. You can help us grow by leaving a rating or sharing the show with like-minded friends. If you want to get in touch, you can leave us a comment or email us at killertunes976@gmail.com.